Okay. So what's an inequality? Is there,
Something that's not equal?
well, yeah, that's true. Like, do you know what the symbol looks like? What if things are not equal to each other?
Oh, I thought you meant the next symbol for it.
Oh, like the greater than, less than?
Yeah, greater than, less than, that kind of stuff.
Right, like the
Yeah, one's greater than the other, one's small. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna start with reminding you what these look like. So we've got 4 of them.
Oh, and then there's like the equal, and then the equal slash, yeah?
Yep.
Right, so we're writing this down.
I know it all.
Not an equal with a slash. That is not equal, but I meant like a less than with a line
Oh,
under it,
yeah,
greater than
yeah,
with
yeah,
line
yeah.
underneath it. So somebody tell me words for this symbol.
Greater than.
This is less than.
We can't go both ways.
No.
The next one is greater than.
I thought you would be. No, because if you think about it, there's number in front of it. then you say it.
Yeah, if you're reading it left to right, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Like if you read it right to left, you could switch it up? I mean, technically that's true, but nobody writes it that way.
Yeah, I don't read right to left either.
Nope, nobody does. Well, actually, yes, they do, but it's in different countries, they read to the right.
Wait, in different countries, do you read right to left?
Yep, that's what I just said.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe in China?
Yeah. What were you asking? Okay, so
Yeah, Europeans laugh.
what is a, hey, guys, if you keep on teasing each other and joking with each other and interrupting me, I'm gonna ask you to leave. It's not a joke, you are being rude to me. Look at me. You're being rude to me. It's disrespectful to me. And if you don't respect me, we can have a conversation with your parents about it. If you don't respect me, then pretend. Because it's hurting my feelings. And it's distracting us. And it's taking way too long to get through this stuff. Okay. What's another word for less than? Like another word that would be in a story problem that isn't less than. Nobody think of one?
Lesser.
Huh.
What did I say?
Try a different one then. All right, what's a different one than greater than? Anybody think of one more than? Okay, all right, now think about it. More than and less than are kind of similar, right? Less, more, greater.
Smaller.
No, well, it's because it's with numbers. So I wouldn't say I wouldn't say to somebody, I have a smaller salary than you.
I think fewer. Is it
Fewer, yeah. Who said fewer?
I did.
It's,
Nice job. Do you know why we're writing this out?
So we know the terms in our stories.
Right, so if you see a story problem, you know exactly how to write it. How about this one?
Less than or equal to.
Less than or equal to.
Wait, so that's like, you could mean anything you want.
It means that like if I had something like this that said x is less than or equal to 5, that means that anything less than 5 would work, but also 5 would work. Okay, what would this one be?
greater than or equal to.
Okay, now there is one more that is very confusing. I don't think these ones are too confusing. I mean, granted, I'm sure that there are about 5 of you that get this way and this way mixed up. And maybe 5 by 5, I mean, looking at your faces at me right now, 12 of you that have problems switching between the two. Okay, remember the alligator eats the bigger number or a Pac-Man eats the bigger number. You read it left to right. So if I'm reading it left to right, do you see how like the small end is on the left? That means that whatever's over here, x, is less than, so x is smaller than this number, 8. Okay, so x is littler than 8. 8 is the larger part. The little part points to the x. Now this is the hard part. At most and at least. which one is at most and which one is at least, and don't take a guess. Think about it first. Think about which one would be at most and which one would be at least. It's really hard to figure this one out. This is something that still trips me up too. Renee?
I'm not sure, but I'm guessing the less than is at most.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
then
right.
The other one is at least.
Okay, so, are you guys too young to, like, did you guys ever have like the experience of like a ball pit at McDonald's or like a ball pit at like Chuck E. Cheese? Okay, now, this is gonna be very disappointing to you at this age because, you guys like to create, chaos right now, right? Like you're the kind of like, people, especially in ninth grade, where you probably go to Perkins with your friends and then your table is horrific after you leave, right? Because you've squirted like ketchup and like all the creamer into like different things and you're monsters, right? You're like, this is hilarious. And then you like turn into like adults and you're like, oh, somebody has to clean that up. I'm horrible, okay? But like right now, you're kind of at that age where you don't kind of put those two things together. You're also, I'm guessing, right at the age where if somebody gave you a chance to be in a ball pit, you'd take it.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay? Yep. Even if there was a 2-year-old in there and you ended up pushing them real hard in there. Okay?
Throw them in the air, they can do like 360.
Okay.
Wait, why is there?
So, people like you and your age, not right now, is why they have rules at the ball pit about how old you are allowed to be in there. Okay? That's actually a thing. They have signs on the ball pit door, and this is how I actually remember at least and at most. It's a really easy way to remember it, okay? So what if it says on the ball pit door, you have to be at least 2 to be in the ball pit? What does that mean? Renee?
You can't be younger than 2.
Right, it has to be 2 or more. Does that make sense to you guys? Greater than or equal to, at least. You have to be at least 2 to be in the ball pit, 2 or more. Nobody wants to have a 6-month-old underneath all the balls crawling around and dying in the ball pit, okay? And are there parents out there that would put a 6-month-old? Yes. That's why signs like those exist, because there are parents who are going to be like, my kid's fine. Sure, they just started standing up, but they can handle a ball pit that has 2 feet of balls in there and some 9-year-olds that are like trying to murder each other in the ball pit, okay? But also, for people like you, there might be a sign that says you can be at most 12 if you're in the ball pit, and that means less than or equal to 12. Okay? I know this is dumb. I know it's dumb. I know it's a stupid trick, but I'm telling you, if you ever see a problem where it says at most or at least, and you think about the ball pit, it's really easy to figure it out. At most means that or less. At least means that or more. Okay, so now we're going to start getting into examples. We're going to see what you remember from being able to solve just like one-step inequalities or one-step equations and math problems. The only difference between this is that there is an inequality sign instead of an equal sign. So go ahead and write this down. X minus 10 is less than 15. Make sure, hey guys, make sure, this is your responsibility. You have to make sure of this because it's going to be a really stupid reason to get a whole bunch of problems wrong. Look at your less than sign right now on your own paper. Okay? You need to make sure that this kind of stuff doesn't end up looking like 7s when you write it the other way. Do you see how it can easily look like a 7 if you're drawing it weird? Maybe not this one because it's pointing this way, but if it was a greater than, do you see how that can look like a 7? Okay? You either need to have lots of space between like the 2 things that it's on either side or make it like skinny or something that makes it really obvious what it is so that you don't get confused by yourself. Otherwise, you're going to start getting like x minus 10, 7, 15. What is happening? Like you don't even know what the problem is. Okay, so how do I solve this? Somebody just let me know. Go ahead. Well, it's already a subtract 10.
Plus 10.
Were you thinking like minus a negative 10? Okay, so the opposite of a minus 10 is adding 10, or you could think about it as minusing a negative 10, which is the same thing as adding 10. So this becomes x is less than or equal to 25. Now, let's talk about how to put this on a number line. I am going to make you draw number lines. I am not going to make you make them difficult because I'm wonderful. Here's what I want on your number line. I want a 0, I want the number we're talking about, 25. Anybody want to make 25 tick marks before number 25?
No.
Okay, then how about we just do this? Did you swear? No? Okay, good. All right, so 0 to 25, and then this right here, if it's not included, you move an open circle. That looks like that. You don't color it in.
Say that again?
So if it doesn't have an equal sign underneath it, if 25 is not included, you have an open circle. And then which way should I draw an arrow? If it's less than 25, will it go to the left or to the right? Everybody just say it. Left. It'll go to the left. So your picture looks like this. Some people draw the circle right on the number line, and that's fine too. I just find it's hard to tell which way my arrow is going if I'm right on the number line, so I like to do it above it, but I don't care if you do it the other way. Everybody over here, do this now. If it is less than or greater than, that's an open circle. If it's less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, it's a closed circle. So the last two are closed circles, the first two are open circles. Colin, you're blanking out.